Langston Hughes spread the news of a mother's blues. We believed it took a mother to nurture a son, a village to raise a child, a father for added guidance, protection, and smiles. All the while, Langston Hughes spread the news of a mother's blues. Because her life son ain't been no crystal stair. She's black. Or brown, with kinky hair coiled and tightly wrapped like perseverance's grip and choking out despair. My climb, my ascent on life's staircase, meant to inspire nerve and serve as fodder for your intended greatness. Through the darkness, and life for me ain't been no crystal stair, breaking generational curses with candid conversations. Yeah, talk is cheap and life is hard. But we kin folks, kin folks, kin folks, kin folks, kin folks, kin folks.
Hello there, and welcome to Kinfolks. I am the mommy and host, El Monique, and I'm excited to be here with you. I'm always excited to be here, even more excited today because I have two fantabulous guests. Yes, that's a word, y'all. Fantabulous. And they are people who are near and dear to me. One, I would say, is a bit of a local celebrity and thespian. TH, y'all. I'm the L, okay? So, this person is a community artist, HIV and public health advocate, for years having been involved in intervention and prevention on numerous levels, as in managing a drop-in center, performing and mobilizing HIV and STI testing events. And here's something else that I love this gentleman for and that we have in common. Quintessential creative. And when I say creative, I'm talking playwright, dancer, oh my God, you name it. This gentleman has done it, and we'll talk about some of the things he has coming up soon. But he didn't get here all by himself. He didn't become who he is all by himself. So guess what? We have his mommy here with us today, too. Miss Holly is in the house. The gentleman that I am speaking about and that I want you to welcome is none other than Mr. Jermaine Nakia Lee. It's all of that, y'all. It's all of that. So welcome. Welcome, Jermaine. Welcome, Jermaine's mom. I said I wasn't going to keep calling you Jermaine's mommy. Miss Holly, welcome to Kinfolks. How are you both doing today?
To be here.
Thank you for being here. How are you doing, Jermaine? I know you're not feeling the greatest. It is allergy season.
It's allergy season, and I'm a Florida boy dealing with allergies. So I'm out of my league, for real.
Is it, since you brought it up, is it different here when it comes to, here, we're in North Carolina, y'all.
Yeah.
The climate change, though, and what you're experiencing, different than...
Yeah, I don't recall...
Never.
I don't recall allergy commercials on TV. I'm sure
Really?
maybe there were. That's not a thing.
So with all that
in South Florida,
sun, there's no...
No, that's
like there's food allergies, but it's not
but
a
pollen,
thing.
you're not...
No,
it's not a thing.
That's why a lot of families bring their children. Sometimes they have to relocate to Florida for that salt air.
Oh, okay, because it's better.
It's better
for
the
the
breathing
allergy
and the
sufferers.
allergies, yes.
Okay, well, thank you. I learned something.
Water, dip them in it. It's good. The air, all of that.
Yeah, me no like allergies.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. So I'm glad that you were able to fight through the congestion and the itchy, watery eyes and all of that.
Swollen face. I had to be here for you. I can't say no to El Monique. Are you kidding me?
Okay. I'm remembering a promise that I kept to my audience, and to Bobby Kearns Productions, y'all. That's how we do this. And in the very beginning, on my first show, which was quite emotional, I hosted that show with my eldest son. He dropped a few bombs I wasn't prepared for. And thanks to editing, out there in YouTube land, no one saw me going, constantly, because I, felt nervous, uncomfortable, or like I was about to burst into an ugly cry any minute.
Yes.
So we had to talk about how the world is so much of it is anti-humanity, anti-human being, the things that we are geared to do under the guise of professionalism and trying to make it, including feeling, having, and expressing emotions. And I'm tired of that shit. So what I've decided is when I feel like I need to cry, I'm going to, and my videographer will not cut.
Okay.
So
All right.
We're going to be real today.
I know
gonna be
that
real.
will be challenging and put to the test today, because I have known Jermaine, and he knows me well enough to know just what buttons to push. So I have on like extra finishing spray. So I'll still be pretty while I'm crying. I anticipate it happening. So I want to jump right into something that does make me feel emotional. And I want to ask some questions and share with our viewing audience a show that Jermaine has written, produced, directed. Have I missed anything? A Walk in My Shoes. That's the show that I'm talking about. It's been around for years. I know that because Jermaine came to me, I think like 10 years ago. I think it was about 10 years ago, and said he was doing this show, a musical, but one of the characters was a budding poet, and he wanted me to write poems in the voice of this character.
And I'm not a poet. I'm real clear about that. Yes.
But you do a lot of poetic stuff.
Yes, you
And
Not the same.
I felt so honored to pick up that challenge, and it was a challenge. And so now it's 10 years later, and A Walk in My Shoes is still around. In fact, it will be, well, by the time you see this, it will have already, what's the right word, Jermaine?
Been
Is it
staged.
been staged? Okay, see, I wanted to say debuted, but that's probably wrong because it's not the first
right.
appearance of. So
We're doing a concert version of the production.
okay.
So instead of doing the full musical production, we're doing just the music and stage reading. So it'll be fun.
Tell our viewers a little bit about A Walk in My Shoes.
Yeah, when we met, I think I still was the program manager at an at-risk youth center called the Powerhouse, which is still established on Betty's Ford Road across from Northwest School of the Arts here in North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's a federally funded center for teens, and specifically, well, at the time it was for teens and young adults. Now it's just for the community. It's a community resource. So if you are someone who is looking to get rapid testing, rapid HIV testing, rapid STD or STI testing.
You're correct.
Rapid meaning you can get the test results in like 15
Half
minutes.
hour or less.
Half hour or less. Like from a swab, you don't even have to give, there's no transfer of blood, right? You get, in some instances, I guess there is.
Sometimes
right?
you can do it that way, but the testing that's being used right now, I don't even know if you consider that. I guess technically it's blood, but it's a finger prick. I mean,
Finger prick,
it's so non-invasive.
That's
It's
right.
not a blood draw where somebody's got to, do all of this. And one little, like people use when they're testing their glucose.
Yes.
It's that type of a
Yes.
thing. And it,
Barely hurts.
yeah.
Doesn't hurt, really.
And the
Yeah.
test they're using right now is a combo test. So with that one prick, you are being tested for HIV and syphilis.
Excellent.
Oh, that is good.
Yes.
That's good. 'Cause
I'm pretty
syphilis is
sure
on
I'm
the
right about
rise
that.
in North Carolina. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a
is.
battery of tests run, so if I'm looking confused, forgive me, because you could be tested all at once for HIV, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis, and some of the tests are grouped together, and this is all free. And the organization that Jermaine is talking about isn't the only one who is providing resources for free testing. So know your status. Get
No
out there,
excuse.
find
No
out,
excuse.
have some safe, freaking fabulous sex. You will, because when everything's better when you feel safe.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly.
Everything.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I was running the powerhouse at the time. Had a long career in HIV and STD prevention and education. Worked for several. I worked for I think every major health organization in the city, as well as the larger ones, Novant and Carolinas Medical Center as well. But A Walk in My Shoes was inspired by the amazing people that I had an opportunity to serve, the teens and young adults that I had an opportunity to serve. And they ran the gamut of personalities from a transgender female sex worker
okay.
to a 20-year-old college age gay male to a 40-year-old heterosexual guy who was married.
So everyone's represented in
Everybody
A Walk
was
in My
represented.
Shoes.
Yeah. To a closeted patient, to a closeted pastor.
But why? Why
You know?
use art to spread awareness? You could have written a paper and put it in someone's journal.
Yeah.
You could have done so many other things.
You had to be
Had a
hands-on.
community forum.
Hands-on. Yeah.
Tell me about the inspiration of using art to spread awareness. And I'm asking because we're all about the conversation. And when you do that, you foster conversation. There's no one who's going to come away from seeing the rich characters in A Walk in My Shoes and not have a conversation after that. There's going to be something to talk about.
Well, that's it right there. Yeah, because I think music is an amazing common denominator. My first love is music. I do musical theater, and so I get to sing, dance, and act and kind of have that trifecta of all those things that I just love. But if I were to isolate any one of those three, it would be music. That's the thing that I cannot live without. And I got that honest. I got it honest. My deceased dad and my mom met
Dancing.
on the port of Miami, Florida, dancing.
When
They
the
were
ships come
Oh,
in.
wow.
like when you get off the ship, and still to this day, when you get off the ships, there's usually local entertainment there, like locals,
Oh,
Miami locals,
okay.
who are entertaining folk as they go on and off the ship
Yes.
for tips. And my
Yes.
mom and my dad met that way. So music, dance, performance, it was just in my blood, right?
It was
I
there.
come from an Afro-Caribbean family. Like, it's just in our blood, right? But I know that music is a common denominator. It's a language that everybody speaks. As a matter of fact, when I meet somebody who isn't into music or at least doesn't have a favorite song, I think that's a soulless person. Like that might be an alien or like an abomination. Like some.
I couldn't tell you a favorite song. I
like
am
it
such a
all.
music lover. I could
Yes.
maybe
But that's my
name
point.
top
Yes.
10 artists.
Okay.
But
But
you got
favorite
favorites.
song?
You have favorites.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, almost anything Stevie Wonder's ever done.
Absolutely. Marvin
Patty could sing to me, I'm going to
Patti
slap you
LaBelle.
upside your head, and I would just be,
Shirley
oh
Caesar.
my God. I mean, she's just,
All
I
of
love
those.
her
Yes.
as a vocalist. Still.
Yes.
Favorite song though would haunt me. There's so much good music out.
I do have a favorite
Do you have one?
song. Oh yeah, Donny Hathaway. A song.
A
for
song,
You.
Hmm. Don't
That it to
start.
me is the
Mm.
best composed song. Oh,
So can we get away with that? Is it old enough? Like I so need.
No, he's
Not old enough, huh?
no,
I'm
no.
sorry.
All right,
He
y'all will
Absolutely.
just
listens to
have to
music.
Google it. A
Music.
Lyrics,
song
a
for
song for you.
you, honey.
But listen,
Oh,
the kids know.
oh,
The,
that's it.
the kids actually know
That's a
Donny
real
Hathaway
one.
because the cool thing about Information Society is that it's all there. Like, like our generation, we had to go dig at records and stuff
That's
to
true.
get to it. Like, with a click,
Google it. Ask your phone.
it's right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always surprised. I have a 17-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I'm always surprised at the degree of music that they know, like their musical pedigree
That's not from their era,
is
right?
not from their era, is really, really in depth.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Donny Hathaway, a song for you. Get into it.
Oh, talk about a moving piece of music. Oof. So, speaking of which, um, your relationship is just one that many people admire. Jermaine, I have seen your mom support you at just about every,
Everything.
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 and that is fabulous. I see how you engage with each other. I think one of the reasons why we have maintained a friendship and been in each other's good graces so long is because we approach the world with a certain level of authenticity. Sometimes makes folks feel uncomfortable, but we get each other when it comes to that. So this is what I'm dressing up to say. Jermaine isn't good at bullshitting,
No, he's not.
okay?
Neither am I.
So I have to assume because of that what I see is genuine.
Yes.
And that kind of connection is admirable and what many people strive for. So we're gonna have a little tea. I know I got a coffee cup, but I'm gonna ask a couple of questions because there are things that I don't know, and I'm gonna ask Mom first. You can tell me or you can tell Jermaine, what would you say is the most challenging conversation you ever had to have with Jermaine?
Ooh. Be honest.
The most challenging when he was a young man. He was 12. You remember the 12-year-old running upstairs?
I barely remember, but good.
He was always. I'm very tiny. I'm a very petite young lady. He's always been towering over me, but he was my baby. But he turned 12 years old, and then he thought he was grown.
Oh,
Me?
I thought he was grown.
was he your height then?
No. He's
Not
never,
yet.
No, he was.
Oh, he was already, at 12, he was already taller than you.
Of course, yeah. I'm 5
She's
even.
a hobbit.
Almost whatever. I'm short. But anyway,
We
he
call that fun size.
okay. Thank you. Well, he said to me, I asked him not to do something. I'm not gonna go into it, but I asked him not to do it anymore, and he told me that that he could do what he wanted to do, and if I didn't like it, that's too bad.
That sounds about right.
That's too bad. And
Oh my goodness.
And if you
Wow,
try,
and he's still here today.
and then he said, if you try, if you try to hit me, I'm just gonna call the police on you, because Oprah Winfrey said I could.
Really?
Oprah!
Oh my
It's
goodness.
Oprah's fault.
So, oh wow, this is.
So
I cannot wait to hear how this
Oprah
all
did.
ended.
it ended very good. I said, so okay. He said, and he said, I'll call the police on you right now. And I said, you're gonna call the police on me, your mother?
Oh.
and I'm doing it, and I'm taking care of you, I'm loving you, and you're going to call the police and have me locked up? He said, yeah. I said, okay, so I'm going to give you a reason. I went to the kitchen and got the biggest.
Wait a minute, you said a reason?
I'm going to give you a reason.
Real calm.
Real calm. Just like that.
That's the scariest part.
Give you a reason. I knew that I had a very large, knife that you cut the turkey and big meat.
Carving knife.
Yeah. I went and got it. And he looked, I say, I'm finna give you a reason. We were standing.
Coming back to me that.
You remember? And he looked and he said, you gonna kill me? I said, I'm fixing to give you a reason. So he took off, and we was living in a townhome. And he ran upstairs to his room, and I just chased him up there. And he locked the door, closed it, and I was just bamming on it with the, just scaring him half to death. Scaring him. She's
I
crying.
need a reason to call Oprah.
Scaring him half to death. Scaring him half to death. He said, Mom, I'm so sorry. I would never, ever do that again. I would never. Mama, please don't kill me.
So all it took was a stern knocking on the door.
Bamming
and
on
an
the door like
implied
I'm
threat.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
What-
So
it was
that
like
was
that?
I
it.
can't even call the police. I can't call the police on that because it's like.
So it was over. Never again did I have
What
any
case?
problem with my son.
Really?
Because my daddy told me to do that. If he ever starts smelling himself, he said, when the boys get around 12, they start smelling themselves, get, pubic hair places and stuff.
Gotcha.
They might say something to you that you might not like.
So I gotta know, Jermaine, like what in that story your mother just told?
It made him.
What?
What did you get from that story? I just
Yeah.
told? It changed.
I mean,
it
I
made
heard
him.
you
He
haven't,
changed.
you
He-
never acted up after that.
Never.
So what
I think it made him go
what
straight.
in that experience had an impact on you, and what kind of impact other than you learned don't try mommy? What was there something in particular that
Yeah.
was it the knock on the door? Was it the like? What made you straighten up and
chased
fly
with
right?
a knife. That probably was it. So I knew she would go there, and I think parents are afraid to go there with their kids. Like, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything illegal.
No,
or anything like
don't do that. Don't do
But
that.
what I'm saying is, like, when your kids get egregious,
And his father was already passed away. That's a totally different
Yeah,
story.
she's a
I was
single
raising
mom.
him by myself.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, by myself. Him and his little sister. He was, that's a different story, though. And so I had to get him straight. I did not want him to go left. I wanted him to go straight.
So, by the time Jermaine was 12,
Mhm.
he had already lost his dad.
Yes. Years.
So you were sole and primary parent in his life.
Yes.
When it came to probably right around that smelling himself age, when it came to having conversations about body autonomy, about who can touch you, who can't touch you, how you use
His
your body.
uncles and his grandfather. I didn't know what to do with all that right there. I didn't know the boy stuff. They told him how to use the bathroom. I had him sitting on the toilet, with the little thing.
My
And
grandfather potty trained. I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with that. I mean, how to do that. His father passed when he was 10 months old.
So, Jermaine, the information that you received when it came to, is that the same with sexual health? We were talking about body autonomy. So when it came to sexual health and wellness, uncles
Uncles.
also, they were
Uncles.
the,
So my mother.
I told him about the girls and
Yeah.
how they try to trap you up, because it was one trying to trap him up.
She was not. Bless her heart.
She already
Bless
had a
her
baby.
soul.
She already had a
She
baby.
was not. She was.
She already had one baby.
I was.
She was trying to get him.
She didn't know I was gay, and
I didn't know he
she
was
didn't know I
gay.
was gay at the time.
No, I did not.
And so she thought this young girl who was one of my best friends, who happened to be a teen mom. She thought she was trying to trap me up.
To make him get
That
one.
young girl knew I was gay.
I did not.
We're still good friends to this day. And she's still holding on to the story that she's trying to trap me up. She was not trying to trap me up.
When did you know, and what was that like?
When I found out,
How did you find out? Did he tell you?
birthday party. Mine.
Your birthday party?
That's not how you found out.
Auntie Hilda told me.
You're from my Aunt Hilda.
Auntie Hilda
She
told
was
me.
mad that I came out to my Aunt Hilda before I came out to her. That's what she was actually mad about. Not that I was gay, but that I told her.
You didn't tell her first.
No, I wasn't mad because he
First.
was gay, because I love my son. I mean, unconditionally. That don't matter to me. Nothing.
What doesn't matter?
Whether you're gay, whether you're heterosexual, whether you whatever. That don't matter to me. That's my baby. Okay? So for him to tell my sister and then tell me, I was thinking that he was, it was one girl. What was her name?
Anastasia.
No, Anastasia.
Ooh.
Her name was
I had a lot
Anastasia.
of girlfriends.
He had a lot of
Excuse me.
girls. He had a lot of
I was trying to
girls.
You
figure
know
myself
what
out.
is
You ain't over there ugly crying.
You
huh?
cried?
Oh boy.
What happened?
She said she was gonna cry, man.
I'm sorry.
Get a tissue.
Where is it?
I really
Don't use that,
could use
though.
a tissue. What is so matter of fact for you? That I know what you meant. I just wanted to hear it when you said
Yeah.
that don't matter.
That don't
Like what is
matter.
that? That is just who you are, how you live.
That's
And
it.
that is normal for you.
That is.
It isn't for so many people.
I know.
There are
and-
so
and
many people
that
out there
turn their
who-
back on their children.
Yes, and that your sincerity is what made me emotional.
Oh.
Like
Ever.
you weren't thinking
No.
what to say or this is how I feel. This is normal. This is my child. I love him. I support him, and nothing else matters.
Nothing.
And I really want the world to hear that, and
Yes.
it's moving for me
Yes.
because I know people who it does matter.
Yeah. That's sad.
Our LGBT youth still have the highest rate of suicide of any other demographic combined.
That's so,
and a lot of that is because they're coming out of families and spaces where it matters. It matters to the point where they are not accepted, affirmed, and they're, when that happens, you're walking around in perpetual pain, disillusionment. So it's wonderful.
Just
and
afraid to
so these are
tell.
happy tears. It's not a bad thing, but it just.
Yeah, that wasn't it. It was just that I guess I don't know.
And let me tell you why I told her first.
Yeah, I would love to know.
Well, she made a homophobic remark.
Oh.
So my aunt,
did she?
you know my aunt Hilda.
She used to always have that
she was
about.
she was
she's
homophobic.
very homophobic.
And she was an attractive woman, and she just was always of the mind that someone was trying to holler at her. So she kept saying "dyke"
She
in
kept using
reference
that
to this
word.
woman at her
A
job. She
coworker.
always worked in banking.
Okay.
And she was working in banking. She moved here from Sarasota, Florida, which is where my mom was reared. And my mom was here. Her older brother was here at the time. Your younger sister, who is now passed,
Was here.
Toby, was also here. So she was the only one who wasn't here, other than their younger brother,
So she.
Greg.
Greg, he's
so
not
she
leaving
moved here
Miami.
as well.
How old are you? Are you
and
adolescent, young adult?
I am 30s then.
At
So
the-
this was
at- when
this
this-
would
when
have
you're
been
telling
20
her-
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 50 now, so I would have been like 30ish or something. And at the time, my mom was in transition. My younger sister was staying with my aunt in her apartment, and I was kind of also co-parenting my younger sister, who was in middle school. So I would pick her up, take her to school in the morning because she was going to a school that was outside of their district. And my aunt was going in the opposite direction to go to work, whatever. So went there one morning to pick her up. She's talking about her coworker. Oh, I'm not going to wear this, that, and the other because she's always looking at me. This dyke, this dyke, this dyke. And I said, well, Auntie, I said, like, you should be careful with your language. First of all, that's, like if HR hears you talking like that, you could get fired. But also, you never know who you're talking to and if that person could be LGBT. You never know if you're talking to somebody who is LGBT, and that might be offensive to them. I don't care if it's offensive to them. I don't know no LGBT people.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
Oh my
what happened.
but I told you this before.
No,
I did tell you
I don't remember
why I
that.
told her. I know because you probably blocked it out
I
intentionally.
did.
But but
I did.
I
You
said
were in your feelings.
you're in your feelings.
I did.
Once she get in her feelings, she in her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, but you do know LGBT people. No, I don't know. I don't know nobody. Because soon as I know them, I would get them out of my life. I just have to work with her because she's my coworker.
Oh my
I said,
goodness.
you do because I'm gay. And then she just kept talking because she didn't like hit.
She blocked it out.
No, she kind of like did. You know how like someone's talking and then you replay what the person said.
Did they really say
And
that?
then she just stopped in the middle of her. So what did you just say?
Mm-hmm.
And if you come see a walk in my shoes, there's a line
I knew it.
in the. She always thinks there's a
summing up about me
line
too,
in
right?
a walk in my shoes where the first lady says that to her son who comes out. What did you say? Actually, the pastor says that to his son who comes out. And I don't
Wow.
want to give too much away.
Don't do it.
But he
don't do
comes out.
it. You gotta come.
My
see
mom thinks that there's a character in A Walk in My Shoes that is modeled after her. That's probably the only play that I haven't modeled something after her.
it. She do.
But there's
I'm
nobody
going
in the
over
play modeled
who
after
they
her.
are, and I'm thinking,
He do. He put me in stuff. I be saying that's me right there. I come to see all of them anyway.
This is actually probably the only one where there's nobody modeled after her.
so now that you know, it sounds like Jermaine's coming out was a whole, I don't know, awareness and cultural
Yeah, because
sensitivity
I went and
campaign.
told my mom,
She
you
told
know
me.
he's gay. And she was
And I
like, no,
said,
he's
no,
not.
it's not. Yeah, so you got
He told me
girlfriends.
he's gay. Did you know that?
She did that to hurt me, I believe. I don't know.
How did you?
I mean, because I'm going like, why would she do it like that? Why would she say it to me like spiteful? That's why, like, that's why he's gay. That type of attitude. But that was her. That was her. So she did it to hurt me. Because in that same token, after that, he got his sister out of her house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
took
I
over.
didn't want my sister.
He didn't want his sister being
because
around
I knew
that
my
kind of
sister
stuff.
at the time, Melva,
She
who
was
you
living
met.
with the aunt.
She
Yeah.
was living with that aunt at the
I was
time.
remember
Oh.
I'm
My
in
mom was
transition. Remember
Okay.
I'm in transition, and I kept
Yeah.
the
Meaning
family.
moving.
No, it was
Life transition.
life
Oh,
transition.
okay.
Things,
Yeah.
stuff
Okay,
happened.
gotcha.
So yeah, and my sister, now I don't think she would mind me saying this, at the time identified as bisexual, and I knew that,
Uh-oh. And she's living with the
and
aunt.
she's
who-
living with her, and so I needed to get her out of that
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, because they would have messed her up. His babysitting. It's
What was
just
the
too.
conversation like once your sister tells you this?
Yeah,
What
well,
do you then do? Do you
I
approach
denied it.
Jermaine? Like,
no,
how do you?
No, I denied it. I say, Auntie Hilda said that you was gay, and she's talking about, and he told me, you didn't know, and that's what you said to me. You didn't know, you didn't do, and that was the end of it. That's the way we ended it.
And she went to my uncles, and my uncles were like,
Yeah, everybody knew. Everybody knew. They said everybody know what you talking about.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Everybody
Sandra.
know.
They call me Sandra, or sis. Everybody know what you talking about.
Why hadn't you told her?
I
Cause
really assumed she knew, and let me tell you why I assumed she knew. Because when I was younger, and I think every male who is gay can kind of relate, who's watching can relate to this. And a lot of times, it's not parents being homophobic; it's really them wanting to protect you. But if she, when I was younger, if she sensed any softness in me, she auto-corrected that real quick.
I did.
And I get that and
If he did his hand like
I
that, I said, "What are you doing?"
I understood that, and I want to say I appreciate that because
do
that
that.
helped me be able to navigate with straight men in a way that a lot of my gay male friends cannot,
Okay.
and that that gave me the tools to be able to navigate in a very heterosexual male dominated society. And I needed those tools. I needed to be able to code switch.
Gotcha.
In the same way
He was
black folk
good.
have the code switch.
A little bit of stealthness.
He did
I
it.
needed to be able to do that. Now, it turns out, as I came into myself, every gay man is different. I am not a very effeminate gay man. That's my natural self. But had that not have been my natural self, I would have had the tools to navigate in a very heterosexual
Understandable.
world. So I appreciate that. So I thought she knew because I thought she was peeping little things when I was younger. But really it was just her
He was
wanting
so
me to
pretty.
be able to hold myself and her. I've always been an artist. And you know, artists, we feel everything. We're
Right.
tender. We emote.
And when he was, and I always wanted him to look like a boy. He was a gorgeous baby. He was gorgeous. He had the long eyelashes, the perfect
There are
brows.
people that still think that.
The perfect brows. The hair was locks of curls. And he was just bow-legged, and he was just the little cutest little boy. And they used to say, "Oh, she's so cute." And he'd say, "I'm a boy." You remember that? I'm a boy. He was so pretty.
Oh my goodness. This is so rich. This is so rich.
He was so pretty. I smell food.
I got a question to ask, but I'll circle back and try to put Jermaine on the spot.
Uh-oh.
No, you know what? Let me do that right now. Because I asked him, so what was the conversation like? And he explained that he just assumed that you knew. That was it, right? You assumed that she knew, so you never had, this coming out conversation or what have you. And you did slip it in there that you're a father yourself. And what I know is that you only have boys. And so here's the put on the spot. So is that how you'd like them to handle you? Assuming you know something and not sharing it with you, is that what you want your sons to do? And if you don't, you better apologize to your mama right now.
No, I apologize. Yeah. My kids know. Yeah, my kids know my sexuality.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
when things that you might consider important in their lives, having to do with who they are, their identity, what they're dealing with, just navigating the world, do you want them to follow your lead? And, well, Dad knows.
No, I do not want them to do that.
And he don't treat him like that either.
No.
No.
I'm all in their business. and I love that. I'm grateful that I have a 17-year-old.
Is that the eldest?
Joe.
Pardon me?
Is that
that's
the eldest?
Joe. Yeah, that's
Joe.
the eldest. Yeah.
Josiah.
Josiah is 17. Jediah is 10. And when I say Jediah talks to me about his 10-year-old shit,
Do you know if the 17-year-old is a virgin?
he is not.
Okay.
Well, what do you consider a virgin? I'm sorry, I'm telling his business. Why you ask me that?
Okay, let
So-
me reframe
Oh my
it
God.
because I don't want you to be in
Uh-oh.
trouble.
He said it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What I'm really getting at is the nature of the types of conversations
We have those talks.
that you have.
Yes, we have
Okay,
those
so
talks.
don't y'all be in his business about what he's doing or not doing. Point is, Jermaine is talking to his sons.
Yes, we have explicit talks about sexuality.
Let's go back to a time where there was a lot of talk going on, and on one hand, sometimes there's talk in community, but not talk in our homes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I also have experience in HIV intervention and prevention, but what led me there way before working for the organization that I no longer work for. Sorry about that, y'all. Just got, you know what? Sometimes you just get caught in your throat when some madness has happened. So let me just put it out there. They fired me.
No.
So let's keep it
sorry.
moving. But
Okay.
before then, what got me my passion for the work, no one can fire me from that. That still exists, and I will continue to work in a field that I hope to become obsolete.
Hello,
so
you're doing it right now.
listen,
Hello.
I'm trying.
You're doing
So-
good.
in the 80s, I'm one of 3 children, 2 living. Lost my older brother to AIDS in 1987. And what I want to know is, living through that era, did living through the AIDS epidemic and having a gay son? I can't imagine. I want you to tell me how you felt, but I want to know if it shifted, encouraged, prompted. What was conversation like when all of this is happening? If you knew then, because I don't know if you knew.
I knew then.
Okay.
I knew then, right?
So
I knew then.
what was that
Okay,
like
that
for
was
you?
about condoms.
Okay.
You know, I don't care. You make sure you use condoms. And if they don't want you to, then you don't do. You just don't. That's a girl, male or female. You protect yourself. I love you. I don't want you. I don't want to lose you ever.
How did it feel hearing your mom? How did that feel?
Yeah, I want to say she's always had that stance prior to even knowing that I, you know,
Condoms.
was attracted to men. When I was exploring my sexuality and dating women, it was the same conversation.
Condom.
You
Protect
know,
yourself.
you need to protect yourself, and you need to protect them.
Wow, that's big.
You need to protect yourself, and you need to protect them.
Exactly.
And also in my family, and I got this from my uncles, and this is not something that I think. This is something that I think is rare. I don't hear men say this, but in my family, particularly with the men, the Lees, the males, you know what I would hear?
What?
Everybody don't get your sperm. Now you hear women talk about how precious this area is, right?
Yes. That's not
Everybody
typical, though, not for guys.
Everybody don't get your seed.
Special.
Wow.
You're a Lee man. Everybody does, and even for me, in my dealing with men, that translation was still there for me. Everybody doesn't get that. Everybody doesn't get that.
Because you can think about it literally, or you can think about it in regards to everyone is not worthy of you sharing yourself with in such an intimate way.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just,
That's it.
wow.
And that was embedded in me from my mom. That was embedded in me from my maternal grandmother, who's passed, Margaret, who's
She
the
called them
matriarch
condoms.
of our family. She called them condoms.
Condoms.
You better wear. And she was a nurse as well. She worked as a nurse for a mental health facility for like years. But when we would go out with me and my first cousin Dee Dee, who were before my sister Melva was born, she was like my sister. And she would there was this club in Miami called Pac Jam, and she would call it Pam's Jam.
she was from the Bahamas. She was Bahamian, and she would say words different. That's all I can say.
Y'all going to Pam's Jam? I said it's called Pac Jam, Grandma. Y'all going to Pam's Jam? And again, there's this character in A Walk in My Shoes, Mr. Jimmy. He fucks up language the way my grandmother did, and I kind of like that's kind of an ode to her.
That is
And
awesome.
so she would say, "Well, make sure y'all wear condoms." And we were teenagers,
Condoms.
but she knew we were having sex.
Yes, she did.
She knew my fast ass was having sex, and she said, "Make sure y'all wear condos."
That is so
I said,
funny.
"You mean condoms, Grandma? Condos."
I planned on asking you how your upbringing influenced how you communicate with your sons, but I think the answer has already been given.
Yeah.
And
Well, listen, my
I think
oldest
it's
son is a
awesome.
Sagittarius, like I am. He has a beautiful girlfriend. I know what's up. Like,
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So like,
He's beautiful too.
Isn't he? He's a grab.
I know what's up. You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
yeah.
So like, take care of yourself. Be smart.
And you clearly have had an influence in their lives that shows. I would like you to just indulge me and tell your mom how she has contributed to you being who you are today.
You gonna make me cry.
Don't do it.
So this is my biggest fan right here, and she's the biggest fan for me and my
Talk
sister.
to her. Look at her.
You are my biggest fan,
Thank you.
and I am the totality of everything that I am because of you. You are looking at. We don't have enough time in your podcast to talk about how resilient she is and the amount of tragedy that she has experienced. You could do a whole lifetime mini series about it.
It sounds like you want to tell her you're proud of her.
I'm so proud of you.
No.
And I stand on your shoulders. And anytime I ever want to have a pity party, I think about all that you have overcome, and it gives me strength. And I got a lot going on, and you know that. But your resilience, it is residual, and it just continues to give me strength. So, you are the matriarch of our family.
Yes.
So
That's what they
Melvin and I
tell
are
me.
standing on your shoulders. You have grandchildren now. You got 4 amazing grandchildren. My
4.
sister has 2 kids, Mason and Mecca, and I have 2
Ooh.
boys. And we talked about my mom's when she was in that transitional period. For me, what I feel like from the outside looking in, that made a difference and that helped you come up out of that muck that you were in was when her grandchildren were born.
That's right.
Because I feel like it,
Oh, wow.
That's right.
where she may have felt like she made mistakes with my sister and I think when Josiah was born, she realized, I have another chance.
And he would never.
And I immediately saw a difference.
He would never, ever, ever experience any of that.
That is
And he has
fabulous.
not. He didn't experience.
Never.
And she's a parent. She's a parent. She's a human being who was going through a whole lot of stuff. She should be dead.
And there's no handbook, and we
There's
don't
no handbook
always
for it.
get it right or
Say
know
it again, Jermaine. I
everything.
should be what?
She should be dead.
I
As
should
a
be
matter of
dead.
fact, my sister and I were preparing to get a call one day based on how her lifestyle was at the time. We were preparing ourselves for that. So that she is here, that we're on this podcast today,
Yes.
that she's a grandmother of 4,
Yes.
that we get to have this experience together. You damn right she had all my shows. You damn right she had all my events. Because we didn't think we would have those moments.
No.
Every opportunity we get to vacation or have a family out, like it is,
Amazing. It's just,
we don't take it for granted.
get it.
no, it's so special.
see?
I really do.
It's so special.
I have someone special in my life who needed to find their way out of the darkness,
Absolutely.
and the darkness lasted for quite a while. So, but
But they made it.
He's in the light now,
That's right.
and
It's a beautiful thing.
yeah,
It's a beautiful thing. And once you become
it
when you get to
really
that light,
is.
you're going to never forget it, but you're never going back.
So if today was your last day, this is how we're going to end the podcast, because
Okay.
you said you're never going to forget it.
Never.
None of us can do this. I almost wish. Maybe I watched too much Black Mirror.
Oh, it's so good. The season is so
Yeah,
good.
yes.
What is it?
So-
Black Mirror?
You got to watch it on
Oh,
Netflix.
it's
so good.
like Twilight Zone meets the tech world.
Yes.
It's kind of like
All the
that.
stories have something to do with tech.
But and so I thought of it when I wanted to say, well, if you knew this was your last day or your last moment, it sounds good in theory, but I don't know how great that would be. But let's just say we could know that. And we know, okay, 5 minutes, that's it. World is going to end. In 5 minutes, you only have the opportunity to say one thing to your son that he will never forget. What are you telling him?
That I love you, and you continue to do you. You do it because she's so good. James would be so proud of you. I love you, son Jermaine. This is my son Jermaine.
They going to test my finishing straight today.
Son Jermaine. That's why I call him that. Son Jermaine. So special. I want him to continue to do what he do. If he promised, if this is the last day, the few minutes I got left, if I leave right now, I want you to promise me that you'll never stop doing what you do. Never. Continue. I'll always be on your shoulder then. That's all I would wish for.
Thank you
take
so
care of my
much for tuning
parents.
in. This has been Kin Folks, y'all. I am the mommy and the host, El Monique. Please follow, like, subscribe, and Asada Nairobi. I love you, baby.